Assalamualaikum. Today I am going to explain the poem Personal Helicon by Seamus Heaney. It is a poem in the class 11th English textbook. Personal Helicon by Seamus Heaney. Note the pronunciation of S-E-A-M-U-S. It is Seamus Heaney. Seamus Heaney, the poet, has written this poem for one of his friends, for one of his contemporary poets, Michael Longley. Contemporary means that both the poets, Seamus Heaney and his friend Michael Longley, were active during the same time. They lived during the same time. Means contemporary. So the two friends, the two poets were contemporary, and Seamus Heaney has written this poem, Personal Helicon, for Michael Longley. Seamus Heaney is considered as a naturalist. Naturalist is a person who believes in naturalism. Naturalist is a person who depicts naturalism in his beliefs, in his ideas, in his thoughts, in his writings, in all its domains of life. Naturalism. Now, what do we mean by naturalism? Naturalism is that school of thought, it is that philosophy which believes that the behavior of the earth, the behavior of the universe, the nature of the universe, the nature of the earth is governed by natural laws, not by the supernatural or spiritual laws. Naturalism is that school of thought which believes that whatever happens in the universe, in the earth, is because of the natural laws, not the supernatural laws. There is no scope for things like supernatural or spiritual ideas, spiritual growth. So Seamus Heaney is considered as a naturalist because he advocates naturalism in his poetry. This poem, Personal Helicon, is also, you can say, it is a symbolic poem. Symbolic poem is a poem in which the poet uses symbols. Symbols are the words or things which mean one thing, but they imply some deeper meaning. On the surface, a symbol means one thing, but that thing has a deep associated meaning with it. That thing takes us to some deeper meaning. As we'll go through the poem, you'll understand that why this poem, Personal Helicon, is a symbolic poem. I'll try to explain there. And let us analyze the title of the poem, Personal Helicon, because I think the title of the poem is thought-provoking. It is an interesting title. The title consists of two words, personal and helicon. Personal means that which belongs to a particular person. Somebody's private affairs, you can say. And helicon is the name of a mountain range. It's the name of a mountain range in Boeotia. Like Himalaya. Himalaya, you know, is the name of a mountain range. Himalaya is not the name of a single mountain. It is the name of a mountain range. It's the name of many mountains found in Asia. Boeotia is also a mountain range. It is not a single mountain. It includes a group of mountains. And ancient Greeks believed, according to Greek mythology, Helicon, the mountain range, was a favorite seat of the Muses. Muses means the goddesses of art and sciences. Ancient Greeks believed that the goddesses, the muses of arts like poetry, music, literature, painting and sciences would often hover around these Helicon mountain range. They would sit around those mountains, and they would discuss various things there. They would discuss poetry, music, art, literature and science on those mountains. So those mountains were associated with arts and sciences. And those mountains were thought to be the source of inspiration for the growing artists and for the growing scientists. And people believe that whoever gets inspiration from this mountain range, from Helicon, becomes an artist, and artists are a scientist. Now all the poets may not go there, and all the scientists have not seen this mountain range, Helicon. That's why the poet Seamus Heaney used the term personal Helicon. So this term personal Helicon can be interpreted as a source of artistic inspiration, as a source of poetic inspiration, or source of artistic inspiration. So personal Helicon may imply anything which inspires, which encourages a person to become an artist, which inspires a person to become either a musician, a writer, a poet, or a scientist. Seamus Heaney implies the same meaning by the term personal Helicon, because in this poem Seamus Heaney tells his friend Michael Longley that why he writes poetry, which things have inspired him to write poetry. As far as the structure of the poem is concerned, this poem consists of 5 stanzas, and each stanza consists of 4 lines, and each stanza shows a definite rhyme scheme of A, B, A, B. That means the first line and the third line end with the phonetically similar words, and the second line and the fourth line also end with the phonetically similar words. That's why the rhyme scheme A, B, A, B, C, D, C, D. This poem has a regular structure, and we can see the devices like alliteration, that is the repetition of the words that begin with the same consonant sounds. And we can also see the technique known as onomatopoeia. Onomatopoeia is the use of words that stand for sounds. The words that denote the sounds, that show the sounds that they stand for. Now let's go through the poem, try to understand the poem line by line. As a child, they could not keep me from wells and old pumps with buckets and windlasses. I loved the dog drop, the trap to scare the smells of waterweed, fungus and dank moss. The poet says in this stanza that as a child, that when I was a child, they here refers to his elders, his caretakers, or his parents. The poet says that when I was a child, my parents, my caretakers, my elders, they couldn't keep me away from the wells and old pumps, buckets, windlasses. They could not keep me away from those things. They would take me away from those things, I would come again and play with those things. They would take me away from those things, I will come again and play with those things. I loved the dark drop, the trap the smells of waterweed, fungus and dank moss. The poet says that because I loved all sorts of those things which were around our house, in our premises, I loved the dark drop means I loved water, especially dirty water. I loved the trapped sikai. Trapped sikai here means the image of the sikai caught in the wells. I loved the trapped sikai. I loved smells of waterweed, weeds, plants, waterweed plants in the water. I loved the smell of those waterweeds. I loved fungus. I loved dank moss. Moss, you know, you can spot the moss means the green or sometimes blue or sometimes brown spots on stones, on walls, on bricks, or sometimes on the trunks of trees. Those spots are actually types of plants. Those plants are known as moss. So the poet loved all those things. Poet would often play with those things. Although his parents tried to keep him away from those things, but the poet would again and again play with those things. Apparently, poet is relating here a simple experience of his childhood, but on a deeper level. It means that when the poet was a child, he was fascinated by the nature. He was attracted by the natural objects. In case of Seamus Heaney, he had wells, pumps, windlasses, buckets, water wheels. So he had these sorts of things around his house. So he was attracted by those things. One in a brickyard with a rotted boat top, I severed the rich crash when a bucket plummeted down at the end of a rope, so deep you saw no reflection in it. The point here in this stanza mentions that I especially remember a well that was in our brickyard. That well was deep. I once threw a bucket into that well and I enjoyed the crash. I enjoyed the sound of the bucket which it made when it struck the level of water. That well was deep. That was so deep that I couldn't see my image in that well, in the water. This is the literal meaning of this stanza. But on a deeper level, the poet seems to say that now it was my second stage of life. Till now, I was just playing with things. I was attracted towards things. But now, I began to meddle, intervene with the things. I took a bucket and threw it into the well. I enjoyed the crash. I enjoyed the sound. So the poet now intervenes with the natural objects, with the natural world, with this world. And well here signifies maybe knowledge, maybe life. He says the well was deep. That means the poet found knowledge, the world, his life, endless, deep. The poet here says, I couldn't see myself in the well. That means the poet was trying to see his image in the well, but he couldn't see himself. On a deeper level, it signifies that the poet was now trying to identify with the natural objects around him. He tried to find himself with the natural objects, with the nature, but he couldn't see himself anywhere in the frame, anywhere in the picture. He found the nature was vast, it was endless, life was endless, knowledge was endless. A shallow one under a dry stone ditch, fructified like an aquarium. When you dragged out long roots from the soft mulch, a white face hovered over the bottom. Apparently, on the surface, in this stanza, the poet says that I remember another well that was shallow. Shallow is the opposite word of deep. That well was not so deep. It was shallow, but that well was fructified. It was full of life. Full of life means full of insects, weeds, water weeds, animals, etc. Like an aquarium. And when a person dragged the roots, those sorts of leaves from that well, a person could see himself in that well. Now this is another stage on a deeper level. This is another stage of poet's life. Now the poet sees in the second stage of life, the poet felt that the nature was vast, it was endless. The well was deep. But in the second stage of life, he remembers another well that was not so deep. In the first well, he couldn't see his image, himself in the well. But in the second well, when he removed the leaves, the roots from the well, he could see himself in that well. When he intervened with the natural objects, he found some things, certain things, wherein he saw himself, his life. Although he could not see a clear picture of himself, his life, but he saw himself. That's why he says, a white face hovered over the bottom. Others had echoes, gave back your own call, with a clean new music in it, and one was scarcesome, for there out of ferns and tall foxgloves, a rat slapped across my reflection. The poet remembers other wells as well. He says there were some other wells as well, and they would echo. They would give back my call. When I called somebody, when I sang or when I cried near those wells would give back my own call. And once I was scarcesome, because once a rat came out from the ferns and foxgloves. Ferns and foxgloves are the names of plants. It's a particular variety of plants. he says, a rat came out from those plants and ran across my reflection. Now what happens? When a person sees himself in water, in a well, and a rat runs over the surface of water, the rat will definitely produce ripples, waves, sort of waves in the water, and those waves would distort the image of the person. Waves distort the image of the person. This is the literal meaning of this stanza. On a deeper level, the poet seems to say that in nature I found echoes. I found echoes. I found things which were alike, which were very similar to me. I found the concerns in the world which were my concerns. I saw my concerns, my issues with other natural objects. And when I introspected myself, my life, my image was distorted. I couldn't see myself. I couldn't see myself as I am. Sometimes what happens when a person concentrates on an object or on a person, on another person, when a person concentrates more and more on a particular person, the image of that person is forgotten automatically. What happens when a person tries to look at an image from all the possible angles, from all the possible directions? The actual image is distorted. Actual image is distorted. That's what the poet here means to say. He has used the device of a rat. He says a rat came from the plants and is distorting the image. That means when the poet was introspecting himself, he was introspecting nature. When introspecting nature, several natural objects, several natural things distorted his image. He was terrified. He was scared. Now to pry into roots, to finger survive, to stare big-eyed Narcissus into some spring is beneath all adult dignity. I rhyme to see myself, to set the darkness echoing. In this stanza, the poet apparently says that now I don't go towards those wells, I don't soil my hands, I don't play with those roots, that dirty water. I don't look at Narcissus, big-eyed Narcissus. Narcissus is, according to Greek mythology, it is also a Greek mythological character. Narcissus was a handsome young man. It is believed that when he saw his image in a pool of water, he fell in love with his own image. He was so moved by his own image that he did not move from that spot. He refused to move from that spot, so naturally he died on the same spot, he perished on the same spot. Now, the poet has used the word Narcissus. Why? Because when the poet was a child, he was looking for his images in the natural objects. He was trying to see himself in wells. Here, the poet has used well. The poet was trying to have a look on his image in the wells. Although on a deeper level, it means that the poet was trying to see himself within the other objects. So, the poet was a type of Narcissus. He was a type of Narcissus. But now, the poet says that now I am an adult. I no longer do those activities. I no longer stare at a big-eyed Narcissus. I no longer play with those things, those wells, those water weeds, moss. I no longer soil my hands because now I am an adult. I am mature. I have developed a sort of dignity. Now, what I do? I rhyme. And instead of all those activities, I rhyme. I write poetry to see myself, to set the darkness echoing. I rhyme because I want that when I am not here, I should still echo. The experiences I have got, the knowledge I have got should echo through my poetry. Thank you.